Hey, we're Habanero Bobby. We're going to play a couple songs for you. This one's Devil Banjos. 1, 2, 3. So many say you're saying crazy words into the wind. I've never felt so crazy while I ride with you again. We cruise into the depths of hell and run into the breeze of burning embers, devil banjos are washing over me. We'll keep on going, running up on through the mains, running from evil things, chasing on after me. Never constricted, I'm tied off onto the bell. Nothing to worry on if you could even tell. I never thought it'd be so cold, I thought this place was hell. The eerie stagnant air began to glimmer, distant dwell. That devil banjo ripped into and heated up the room. We broke into a pick and stormed to light up the moon. We'll keep on going, running up on through the mains, running from evil things, just chasing on after me. Never constricted, I'm tied off onto the bell. Nothing to worry on if you could even tell. Trapped here forever, dude, this road, it just never ends. I thought that we were finished, but where we first began. We cruise into the depths of hell and run into the breeze of burning embers, devil banjos washing over me, washing over me.
Something in the water taught me how to crawl. Something in the water taught me how to fall.
What's up, everybody? Hello, and welcome to another Something in the Water podcast. I'm Uncle Dave Griffin, along with Sean Clark and our guests.
Our guest today is Habanero Bobby.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Say that again.
Habanero Bobby.
Habanero Bobby.
Habanero.
Habanero Bobby.
Habanero.
Excellent duo out of Brunswick, St. Simons, the Golden Isles area. Welcome, guys.
Thank you, man. I appreciate you having us.
Dave, Sean.
Vince Jarocki, right here, and Wesley Maxwell, and Habanero Bobby.
And the name. Let's just go ahead.
Yeah, let's figure out, where did that come from?
The number one question that we get.
It's a good name.
Yeah, it's my buddy John Parsons, who I was living with at the time about 2 years ago. And I was looking to start kind of like an Allman Brothers cover band deal. And I had no name for it. We were just doing a bunch of gardening at the time, growing a bunch of peppers, lettuce, tomatoes, you name it. And we were out there at the garden one day, and I was like, man, I just really need to find a name for a band. And he goes out of nowhere, just pulls out, how about Habanero Bobby and the Scotch Bonnet Boys? Like, where the hell did you pull that name from, dude? He's like, I just made it up. I'm like, there's no way, but okay, that's a fantastic name. So I kind of chopped it up. I was like, that's great, but I don't have anybody to play with right now. So I kind of just back pocketed it, and then me and him started jamming a little bit, and I wanted to start, a duo project. And the first question that popped in my mind was, what's the name of the project going to be? I'm terrible at naming projects, and I was like, Habanero Bobby would be fantastic, And then, we also have a song on the debut album called Scotch Bonnet Boys too, so I kind of homaged that off of the, the rest of the name. So that's pretty much how that one came about. And
that's awesome.
He's proud of it, He's like, hey, I named those guys. I'm like, hey, go for it, John.
I admit I had not heard of the Scotch bonnet pepper before.
Scotch bonnet?
Yeah, it's a type of pepper. I had not heard of it.
Scotch bonnet boys.
Yeah.
Are they yellow?
So.
Yeah, kind of yellowish. At the time, we were growing just a bunch of jalapenos and just habaneros pretty much at that point. And then, like I said, a lot of lettuce, tomatoes, stuff like that. Banana peppers, that was another one that we did.
Cool.
But never grown a Scotch bonnet, though. So might have to change that one.
Well, it's lucky he didn't go with Iceberg Bobby.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Definitely could have been way worse names in that garden that we could have pulled from.
I just think of Cabbage Head from The Kids in the Hall. I have a cabbage for a head.
So, y'all ever get weird interpretations or weird misspellings or weird pronunciations of you?
Yeah.
We came up with alternate names for the band. So besides Habanero Bobby, we also have Jalapeno Robert.
So Jalapeno Robert's funny because that was actually the first gig that we had ever played. At the end of the night, when the guy came and handed us the envelope of money, it said on the outside, Jalapeno Robert. I was like, what the hell is this? He's like, I don't know. I just thought it'd be funny to do that. And I was like, that's a fantastic interpretation.
Yeah.
Or Chipotle Bob,
Yeah,
I think is
Chipotle
another
Bob
one.
is another. There's tons of variations you can pull off of.
Hey.
But and then another kind of cool thing is just having habanero in the name. Is probably about 5 or 6 shows in, we had a couple come to our show and played. They were all into it, and at step break, walked out, was kind of talking to the crowd, and introduced myself to them. They're like, "Yeah, we just had to come because we saw that y'all were playing here, and we saw the name, and we're like, all we do is just grow exotic peppers, and we're like, we have to go see these guys because Habanero Bobby."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Yeah, thanks for coming, guys." They're like, "Yeah, next time we see y'all play, we're gonna have to bring you just like a fat ass bag of just a bunch of different just exotic peppers," because they showed me pictures of their garden, and it was just blasted with all these kind of just exotic strains of peppers. So that's pretty badass. Y'all came out just for the name, and you're like, "Oh, they got a pepper name. We got to see what they are."
Well, that's the appeal of it. You got a great name, an interesting name.
Well, hey, it's like bare naked,
unique name,
bare naked ladies.
It's going to pull people just on the name.
Free beer.
Tonight. Yeah. Free beer.
Where the hell's the free beer? They're on the stage. It's like, this is bullshit,
Hey. Tonight, shrimp dinner special.
Yeah, it definitely pulls for a lot of cool logos too. So
Like this one.
Well, look here. I'm wearing. There's some pork chop.
Hey, that's what it's made for, baby. Half shirt, half napkin.
Habanero Bobby.
Yeah, that was done by Sam Balling.
I know Sam.
He's a fantastic artist.
Yeah. It's
So-
cool. It's a red sports car with a
It's a Corvair.
Bobby. He's smoking a spliff.
Definitely Fear and Loathing inspired, I think.
Yeah.
Very much so. Yeah, that was off of that was taken from the single version of Freeway Bound that came out. That was the first song that we ever wrote, and that was released as a single before Inherit the Bird came out, which is our new debut album. So I needed a cover for that, so I sent it to him. I gave him a little bit of an idea behind what I kind of wanted. I told him, want a guy in a car. I want him smoking something you can put whatever into his mouth, you know, and you know, I want him driving in the desert, you know. So about 5 days later, he sent me that, and I was like, oh my goodness, you know, he's a fantastic artist. So and the whole image is on Spotify and all that other stuff where the single is, but you know, we cropped it down and made that shirt, and as popular as all get out, man.
Heck
Yeah.
I gotta get me one. I got the sticker. Got it on my guitar case.
Oh, the stickers are great because you know you can give those out for free. So
Right.
you know, spread those all over town.
I always enjoy seeing the red car guy sticker on people's vehicles around the island and
Oh yeah.
around town and stuff.
Well, I try to, you know, after shows, I try to walk around to try to get to everybody, but it's impossible to get to everybody, you know. But you know, hand them 2-3 stickers a piece and just, you know, thanks for coming, you know, thanks for supporting us.
That's a
We're
good
always
thing to
handing them
do
out.
too.
Throw them on whatever, or just give them to your friends, you know, and then that's more people who, you know, have our sticker and are like, oh, I know where that, you know, I've seen that before, you know, that kind of stuff. So
Makes your name stick in their head. And
exactly. Hey, we're Habanero Bobby. This song's called Freeway Bound. When I'm falling down, no one there to help me swing around. Walking down the path, 2 ways across the road, I'm freeway bound. I'm on my own again, I wanna play hard, make a friend and a sound. Times are falling fast, I might as well spend mine and have a blast. Keep on falling down, no one tries to catch my fall. Keep going back in my chair and I wonder if anybody cares at all. Take a step and breathe and look around, soak in what there's to see. Being sweet to me, it makes me feel good. The best part is it's free. Keep on falling down, no one tries to catch my fall. Walking down the path, 2 ways across the road, I'm freeway bound.
exactly.
So you mentioned the new album. You should talk about the story behind the name for the album.
I was just fixing to ask that. I said, y'all got a name, Habanero Bobby, and now you got an album called Inherit the Bird. These are interesting phrases.
Yeah, so we play a lot on his front porch, all through spring, summer, fall, winter. Obviously, we'll practice inside, and I got a little home studio. We'll hang out up there sometimes. But anytime, good weather, we'll just sit on his porch and just jam out. We were out there one day, and this was right kind of, I was probably 4/5 of the way through writing the album, and we were just sitting there, shooting the jazz between some cover songs we were working on, and my family owns a liquor store in St. Simon's. We've had a bird there for 24 years. And so we've had her for 23, or 24.
Is this a caged bird?
Yeah. So it's African gray.
African gray.
So it's
do they talk?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
They speak probably more
Than any.
Yeah. I mean, I think the highest one on record has 10 to 12,000 English words in its vocabulary. So they can repeat anything. It's just they can't form sentences. Right. They don't have that cognitivity in their brain, but they can say them all day long. So they're really cool birds. Her name's Lucy. We have, 24, 25 years. So I was talking to him about the bird one day and talking, it's my stepdad's, all that kind of stuff. He's 57, bird's 24. So, if you do the math, the bird lives 60, 80 years. I doubt
you're going to inherit the bird.
Yeah, I doubt my stepdad's going to live to 130. So it's kind of like, well, what's going to happen with the bird? And then I said, well, I guess I'm just going to have to inherit the bird. And he's like, that's a fantastic name for a song or an album. And I'm like, I never thought about that. And I just pulled my phone out and wrote it down. And we kind of, I was like, I'll throw that on in the pocket for names. And then by the time it was time for the album to come out, that was the only name I had in my phone that was not a song title that I could use for the record.
How about that?
It's interesting enough, too, and it kind of serves as a double entendre because we have a song on the record called Daddy Gave the Law the Bird.
What?
Daddy Gave the Law the Bird.
Daddy gave the law the bird.
Yeah, so inherit the bird could mean you're inheriting an actual animal or you're inheriting nothing.
Yeah. I was thinking that it was something about bands always get the guy in the corner going free bird.
Right.
I thought it might have had something to do with that.
A friend of mine mentioned that it reminded him of Inherit the Wind, which was about the Scopes monkey trial and teaching of evolution in schools. Yeah. So if you guys have ever seen that film, there's a film about a guy that was actually put on trial for teaching evolution in a school.
That's an old one, isn't it?
Yeah, old one, yeah.
Yeah. What's the funniest thing that bird has ever said, in your opinion? I mean, does some of them cuss.
Oh, yeah.
And that's I guess it depends on their surroundings.
Well, that's why I tell people, there's so many things that bird can say. And, 24, 25 years, there's a lot of things it's heard in its lifetime. So whenever people ask me, what does the bird say? I say, well, anything that you would hear inside of a liquor store, good, bad, and the ugly.
That's true.
That pretty much sums it up the best way without me having to, spit out phrases. So, you can kind of, put your imagination to it and just imagine the things that she says,
Jose Gold, $4.99.
Oh, trust me. Fireball is her favorite word. I mean...
Fireball.
She's all over it. So,
well, I got a big kick out of that as a youngster. We had a next door neighbor, old James Cock. Yeah, speaking of birds. And James had a Aunt LeMay who owned Paint and Tile downtown Waycross, and she had a minor bird in the store, and we'd get a big kick out of that as youngsters. We'd always make it a point. Folks back in my days, in the mid-'60s, parents would drop all the kids off downtown, and you'd have a run of the town for all day. Of course, you'd go to probably 2 movie features with cartoons in between, but then it seems like you'd get out, and then you'd just be going to the drugstore to have a Coke at the counter and going around to Paint and Tile just to hear the minor bird say, "My name's Sam. That was his big phrase.
Sam.
My name's Sam. Yeah. Talking Birds and Inherit the Bird. What about this album? Is it available now?
It is indeed. Yeah, it got released on February 10th of this year. We worked on it for about a year.
Yeah. Where'd you record?
We recorded at Audio Boogie Studios with Levi Hamilton.
Okay.
He's an absolute wizard. Being born in 1999, growing up, going to Glen Academy, from 2013 to 17.
Mm-hmm.
I had Clyde's music right there, right there in downtown. I used to go get lunch, between classes at Subway, so I'd go get a sandwich. I had 30 minutes, get a sandwich in 10 minutes, go into Clyde's for 10 minutes, have 10 minutes to get back to school. And then after school, I had a, car, all that stuff. I'd go a little bit farther, go down to Portman's, and then I would always buy all my strings, picks, pedals, all that stuff, experimenting as a teenager from Levi, drumsticks, and...
So he worked at Clyde's or Portman's?
Portman's. So I always knew him forever just from buying equipment and stuff like that from him. He was always a really nice guy, real quiet, real cool. And yeah, just whenever I was getting into kind of shopping producers and stuff like that, he had by far the best reputation in Glen County from the people I was talking to. So
we need to get him on this thing.
Absolutely.
He is fantastic, man. He's a great dude.
Well, I've never met him, I don't think, in person.
I don't think I have either. I've heard his name with recording a lot.
He recorded a little, he on my album that just came out, there was a song, Curl Up and Die. And I pitched what do they call them, stems? I sent Levi the stems, and Chris and Laurie Ryder went in there and laid down background harmonies and then pitched them back to me. So it was all very much, digitally.
Yeah.
But it wasn't, I've not met him in person yet.
And that, he also just recorded the new M Theory album.
Yeah.
That was,
we
Michelle
listened to some of that. That sounded great.
Michael Alonji. Shout out to y'all. That was a fantastic album. Great job, Levi and y'all.
I asked Mike the other night when we went stop by Reed's the other night. I can't remember who was playing. Might have been y'all. I believe it was. And I said, "Are you going to play the album live?" He said, "We haven't yet, but we plan to before this year's out." I said, "Good luck."
To see that.
That is something. It's going to require sequencing probably, because there's a lot of stuff on there.
They won Album of the Year.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's a fine
I
album.
think they got Song of the Year too. They killed it.
Fine album. Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah, boy. So anyhow, we're grateful and appreciative of the fact that this podcast has served to have many guests from the Golden Isles. That's where the talent base in South Georgia overall. You cover the whole South Georgia state, from west to east, and there's so many potential guests out there, and we've had quite a few on. So thank you all for being here and adding to that.
Yeah, thank you for inviting us, man.
Glad we can come on when the record is out, so we actually have something to talk about and discuss.
That's what Mike and Michelle did. They put us off, said, "Not ready yet," put us off, and finally they came once the album was done.
Well, and then also while we're on the topic of the album and on credits, Randy Reynolds mastered it for us too. He's a fantastic dude and fantastic in mastering. He is, every single detail matters with that guy. So fantastic job. He did a great job mastering. Thank you, Randy. Wow. Thank you, Levi.
The artwork.
That was from Mako Havley. Went to high school with him. He's a fantastic artist. He now lives up in North Carolina. Great dude. And yeah, just an awesome guy. He's done some posters for us in the past. But yeah, he destroyed it on this album cover.
Let's pull it up.
Can we see it up there?
Yeah, you should be able
Where
to.
do we go? Right there.
Bingo.
Yeah, let's get a still shot of that album cover first, if you can.
Maybe hard to pull up without clicking a song.
Yeah.
But what's a good track to play? Nothing that you're going to possibly play?
Scotch Bonnet Boys is a really good one that's, you know, we just talked about it a little bit too. You know,
Can you click on the image? Can you right click on the image or left click and say open share save image as? Yeah. And then it'll. You want to hear a little bit of this song? Yeah. Yeah. Scotch Bonnet Boys, named after the famous pepper.
That's nice.
That's kind of that rolling. It's rolling.
Yeah, and he's got a lot of percussion elements to him playing the bass too that adds in a lot. You know, just an extra layer of thickness.
It's good traveling music right there.
Oh yeah.
Flying down those hidden roads, it really gets them thinking. Loads of shine in the back trunk, you know the boys are drinking. Hiding from the boys in blue and they're full of all their joy. The whole town's being fueled off the Scotch Bonnet Boys.
This song's written about Appalachian shine runners running from, you know, Virginia, North Carolina, Georgia, all that kind of stuff. And, you know, fueling the whole town, yet it's still illegal, you know?
Yeah.
Carolinas to southern lines, they're hopping from the trains. Red and blue now slowing down, popping out lanes. Loads of that devil's juice they need to deploy. The whole town's being fueled off the Scotch Bonnet Boys.
Session-wise, we did this album very quickly. I think it took, 3 or 4 sessions, Wesley? And he sang the whole record in one go.
It's 3 sessions. So the first session we did all the instruments in one day, 13 songs.
Yeah.
And then did all the vocals in one day.
In one day.
And then which we did double styled vocals, which was Vince's idea because it's old kind of Dave Grohl, Foo Fighters technique.
You doubled yourself.
Yeah,
on all of it. Okay.
So just sang as best I could and then tried to match it.
Yeah. When you do that, it's good to have a plan.
For sure.
You're not going to just improvise on the first track because you'll never be able to find it in the second.
We made sure we were really well rehearsed going into this. So.
That's another good thing to do when you're going in the studio. Know what you're doing.
That's kind of like a Meat Puppets kind of vibe in a way.
Yeah, it's
like it's bluegrassy, but it's folky, but it's kind of got the chord.
That's awesome.
The flavor of
I'm a
that
big fan
90s,
of that Meat Puppets 2 album.
I kind of give it I pull a lot of. I'm a huge Lou Barlow fan, so I pull a lot of Folk Implosion and Sebadoh kind of.
It's got that vibe to
styles to it, you know, and then the same rate, really like Dinosaur Jr.
Yeah, me too.
Billy Strings is another good one. A lot of good info. I mean, Black Sabbath. I mean, there's more influences out there than I could sit here and the rest of the podcast and just sit here and name them all day.
Further back than that, it sounds like that beginning sounds like Harry Nilsson. Everybody's talking at me. The beginning where it's just rolling with that. Nice and Gentle on My Mind. A little bit of that too. Yeah. Kudos. That was a good track.
Yeah, man.
Now let's look at this album cover here.
And that was actually the last song that was written for the album, I believe. So that was written a few days before we went to the studio to do it.
That's pretty cool. Now this bird is flying in from the east.
And with Mako, he's such a good artist to where what I do is whenever I want him to do anything,
there's the eggs in the nest.
I just send him the tracks off of whatever's going to be on the album, and I tell him what the name of it's going to be, and I just go do whatever the hell you want. Just listen to it, whatever you pull out.
It's kind of got that Dinosaur Jr. vibe to
artwork.
Yeah.
It looks like the bird is turning back into an egg almost.
Yeah, like going back, like growing, like digressing back.
Oh yeah, I see that now.
Yeah,
smaller. Ooh, dang, I was wondering about that. Now, what is this guy over in the forefront right there? Something with an eye.
Oh, that's just a big old bird eye popping through, flying out.
Hartsfield International.
And then the album cover for the vinyl is going to be really cool too, because I got a buddy of mine, Caroline Brock, to get on there and kind of do a bunch of cool, font.
So
and
the
stuff
album's
like
going to
that.
be different, or it's going to be an
A little bit.
enhancement of this?
It's going to be that, but it's got our band name on there. It's got the name of the album on there, and then the back of the album's obviously going to be juiced up and all that stuff. Which I don't know when this podcast is going to come out, but right now was it March 7th today?
Scheduled for the 15th of March.
Okay, so 15th of March. So
Yeah.
for that, the 7th right now. This is a Thursday. Pre-order for the vinyl is going to start on Saturday. So by the time this comes out, if you want to reach Habanero Bobby on Instagram and just send me a message, address, all that jazz, I can get you a record.
Awesome.
Hopefully they're going to drop in maybe 5 to 7 weeks.
Okay.
But just excited to have something on a hard copy that's 12 inches big. So
It's going to be cool. I've recently gotten back into collecting physical media. LPs. I finally got into collecting LPs this past year. So I like that. I bought a CD player to play all my old CDs from high school. And I've been going Blu-ray crazy, just buying so many movies. I just love movies. So
Cool.
Yeah, boy. The times they are changing. I ordered, I don't know how many, the minimum order of CDs on my latest release, but I've been giving them away.
Yeah.
I mean, they're the modern day business card more
Yeah.
than anything,
well, and that's honestly why we were talking about doing CDs, and we talked to you about it. And
I can't even give them.
And it was fun. It was funny because
Nobody's got a CD
well, the first thing you said was I was like, what would you think? We have an album coming out. What would you think about us doing CDs? And you go, well, you have stickers, right? And I go, yeah. And you go, then don't get CDs. And I go, okay, what do you mean? You're like, well, do you give your stickers away? I go, yeah. And then go, yeah, then don't get CDs. You're going to use the CD as an advertisement almost as you would a sticker, and if you've got this, or, if you got the stickers, just stay with that and, maybe try to invest in some vinyl or just, invest your mind into just songwriting more music out, and put it out
stream
digitally.
sticker or a stream?
Like a QR code thing?
Yeah, you can sell cards or any kind of form. It could be a thumb drive or whatever. But even then, like, people are going to stream music. That's what they do. They're not going to. I'm going to take this thing and put
online, right? For the most part,
right.
Yeah, they're going to get it online.
but the experience and the quality of vinyl, is
And I think that's the big draw. People want that because it's oh man.
Well, and that's the thing, even
nostalgia and the
in the past year of me and him hanging out, he's got a bunch of cool records and stuff. So, and I've got a lot of records. It's just I never had a good turntable and some good good turntable, good head unit, good speakers, and I was like, all right, let me just invest into that. And even before I invest into that, now I actually listen to vinyl and really enjoy just throwing stuff on. Even before that, I would buy vinyl just to. It's just nice to have that tangible copy to look
like
at it,
the art, and
turn it
everything.
over, see who all was involved in it. Yeah, smell it. I mean, you pull it out, and it could be black. It could be
the color vinyl.
Exactly. Which our vinyl is going to be an eco mix.
Cool.
So all the if you think of vinyl making, like people making pizza dough, take that pizza dough, slap it out, cut it off. You got that excess, you throw it away. They'll take all that, compress it back down, melt it down into a. Generally, they're. I'm not as fluent on my colors as I used to be, but it's like the word for like all the brownish, darkish colors. Those kind of earth colors almost.
Ochre.
Like clay colored brown, kind of. So all of them kind of end up turning out like that, which I think is kind of cool. Especially going with if it turns out to be a brownish record or something like that. With the pink and the teal, it'll look kind of cool. Plus, brown's never a bad color if you're a Ween fan. So
That's right.
Do you have a turntable yet?
Oh yeah. I have an Audio Technica turntable.
Oh yeah.
Running it into, I don't remember what kind of head unit I have, and then I just have some Klipsch speakers, which is just
sound like an audiophile from way back. I treated myself to a Christmas present turntable about 4 years ago. Bought it from U-Turn Audio. Nice little thing. They have them in different colors. The bass comes in red, blue, white, black, walnut, all kinds of different colors.
Top.
No, it is. It's got the dust cover on that folds down on top of it. It's just cool little thing. Probably about
like those Crosleys or something.
$200.
Yeah, I've got one of the
$300.
Crosley deals.
Yeah, Crosley is.
The speakers don't sound worth a crap.
No, they don't sound too good, but they're You can buy them at what's that? Mama's Kitchen? No.
Especially now, you just hook it up to a Bluetooth speaker. You know,
you can buy buy one of them vintage old things that look like FDR's coming out of it at Cracker Barrel. Yeah, for the old folks, the vintage. Remember this? We have nothing to fear but fear itself. Come a long way since then.
Sound like Bane. You look like Bane. Put a mask on. And...
Y'all want to listen to another one off there, or
Yeah, we can do that.
yeah. So we kind of got going on right now. Georgia's All I Need. We're not going to play that one today, but that's a kind of a, ever since I put the album out, kind of a fan favorite. Which that one's, you know, you can guess just talking about how fantastic this state that, you know, all five of us here live in. You know,
yes, number 5.
Got to play to your bass.
Yeah, yeah, man.
That bass running through something, or is it
Just mic'd up.
Just mic'd up and
well, it's got some depth.
It's kind of funny when all the things that you thought mattered don't really mean a thing. Used to think it's about what you had, but it only matters what you have to bring. Never really gave a thought what I did, what I said, what was cool that I would leave. Little did I know I was running around. Georgia was all I need. Georgia was all I need. It's kind of funny when all the things that you thought mattered don't really mean a thing. Used to think it's about what you had, but it only matters what you have to bring. Never really gave a thought what I did, what I said, what was cool when I would leave. Little did I know I was running around. Georgia was all I need. Georgia was all I said what was cool when I would leave. Little did I know I was running around. Georgia was all I need.
Nice.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And there's a little, you know, a little bit of mandolin on the album too, on maybe 3-4 of the songs.
Who played that?
Me.
Okay.
So yeah, I got about a year ago. I got a.
That's an interesting song. There, did you intend to? I mean, there was just one verse.
Yeah, pretty much.
One verse song.
Follow it around,
That's
you know.
Pretty cool.
But it's pretty much written about, you know, in high school, stuff like that. Played a lot of punk music, played a lot of metal, you know, which there's a decent scene, kinda around here, a little, very, very, very small, but you know.
Especially in Savannah, there's a lot of good metal bands.
A lot of good metal in Savannah. Atlanta, I mean, you know.
Atlanta, too.
Mastodon, you kidding me? So, but, you know, but.
All over Georgia.
I felt kind of, you know, lost being like, well, I got to just move somewhere else to be able to, you know, have a good time or, you know, play the things that I want to play. And then, you know, getting more deep rooted into the stuff that I grew up on, like, you know, Billy Joe Shaver, Waylon Jennings, you know, Widespread Panic, all that other kind of stuff. It kind of, you know, getting back into that music, I was like, well, damn, all I really need is where I've been the whole entire time. You know, I just have to make the effort to prosper into where I am rather than thinking that just moving somewhere else is going to make it better, you know? So, and the time I've been having in the past year and a half in Georgia has been amazing, you know, living here my whole life. So
we kind of knew each other from the local music scene, but we really didn't get to talking until I would come in Hamby's, the package store where Wesley works, and buy beer because he's got a great beer selection. Sours, I'm a big fan of the sours. But he would always be listening to cool music, Smashing Pumpkins, stuff like that. So we would just like strike up a conversation every time I would come in, and just got to talking about music. And I'm a big believer in synchronicity, right? I'm a huge fan of that concept. Just like when you're in sync with people, living in the same area and stuff like that, and cool stuff starts to happen, right?
Yeah.
So we just one day finally started jamming. He decided he's going to put this band together, and he had the vision for the album, and it just came together really quickly. We just got in a good schedule, a good groove. We were jamming twice a week, usually Thursdays and Sundays, and like he said, just get together on the porch, drink a little beer, smoke a little pot, play music, and yeah, now we got a record. So it's pretty cool and weird, but
well, it's funny too because you know Vince has been grinding the local scene for what 20 plus years. At least. I mean,
but
and he's
primarily have been a drummer. Yeah,
exactly. You know, I mean, he's a fantastic drummer. So you know,
when did you start playing bass
with Wesley?
As soon as he started playing with me. So that's you know the funny thing because we kind of started hanging out, not even to really. You know, it wasn't something to where it's like, oh, well, we're going to hang out because we're going to start a band. You know, it was, oh, you listen to good music. Oh, you listen to good music. Oh, where do you live? Oh, well, I live in blank. Oh, where do you live? I live blank. Oh, that's like 2 streets over. So that's like, you want to hang out sometimes? So then, you know, ended up hanging out and I'm, you know, at his house just hanging. And he's like, I got a guitar, man. And I'm sitting there picking on it. And he goes, well, I think I might be able to like show you something real quick. And he pulled it and showed me this scale. I'm like, dude, I thought you were a drummer. He's like, yeah, but I dabble in guitar. You know, I know scales and all that. You know, I can play in keys and stuff. And I'm like, would you be down to play bass? He's like, I don't see why not. So then, you know, I have an acoustic bass at home, so we jammed on that a little bit, and then he ended up getting his own. And then ever since then, it was just, you know,
it's a cool
nose
thing
to the
too.
grindstone. So
yeah, I don't see a whole lot of other people playing an acoustic bass out there.
Yeah.
I mean,
because that was the thing. It was either. Well, we either get, you know, an electric bass or we get a stand-up bass, and then we have to pay $5,000, and then you have to learn how to use the damn thing because it's...
And haul it. And
get a case that's the size of a minivan.
Yeah.
So we were like, well, you know, we've been playing on that one. Well, so that one's, you know, the one he plays right now is a Fender. I have an Ibanez at home. Ibanez is a little bit bigger body, so when he was looking at that, it was just a really easy integration, you know, to go to that, and... You know, we were already jamming with the acoustic bass, so it was the sound we were looking for.
Yeah, when I heard it was Vince that was playing with you, I was like, okay, drums and guitar. And I shut up and went, what the hell? Like,
yeah, well, that's what's funny, because especially on the record, too, when I talk to people, they listen to it and they're like, where's the drums? And there's none on there. And they're like, well, what's Vince playing? You know?
We got him turned down real low.
I'm like, me and Wesley come from a similar background in that I started out playing punk rock, you know, fast, heavy, aggressive, loud music. So learning that on drums, but also at the same time being interested in bass and guitar. And my bass hero was Matt Freeman from Rancid.
Yeah.
So I have bass chops because when I was 15, 16, 17, I was learning all of his bass lines.
Oh, okay.
So that was my hero, was that guy.
That was the first instrument I started out learning was the bass. I was real good on one note, you know, but then I realized I couldn't sing and do that at the same time. I weren't coordinated enough. So.
And you already knew you wanted to sing?
Well, I kind of had to, you know, because it was either that or Ray.
Oh, yeah.
And the more it's just a natural progression, you know. I wanted to sing. I kind of found my voice, you know. Whereas before that, you know, I was just like, you can't sing, shut your mouth, you know. And once I did, I just learned the rhythm, you know, chords on the guitar, and that way that's easy enough to just strum chords and change, and there's no real right brain, left brain going on there, you know. I admire those people like Paul McCartney. Anybody, any bass player that can play as intricate as patterns as they do,
Phil
and
Lesh.
sing a totally different.
Teal Burbage, I mean,
time signature, you know. There's something else totally going on. Drums the same way, yeah. Singing. Lead guitar, same way. Right. Anything that you have to relate to single note picking on there. Mm-hmm. My mind was blown. And you be singing harmonies at the same time, that's incredible to me. It's just incredible.
When I found out that Space Hog song, in the meantime, that the guy singing is playing that bass line.
Really?
Mm-hmm. That's pretty mind-blowing, right?
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, so y'all came together first intellectually or spiritually. Conceptually, y'all came together and said, we live in the same neighborhood up here, too. Mm-hmm. You know, and that kind of brought you together physically and business-wise and everything.
Yeah, I mean, we, you know, when we started talking about the band, I was like, well, where are we going to play? So I chose about 40 to 45 songs that we could learn to where we could start playing shows, you know, because, I mean, even if you had 40 to 50 original songs, if nobody knows who you are, it's going to be hard to draw them to your venue or at least stay at the show, you know, if whether you're either good enough or if, you know, they're interested in it. So we picked some cover songs, jammed those out, and then played a few shows. And then once we started doing that, we're like, okay, you know, we could definitely start, you know, integrating some of the songs that I've written into what we're doing, you know. And I feel like doing that, you know, stint of a ton of cover songs just for like, so I think we started jamming together probably January of last year. 2023, yeah. So beginning of 2023, and then our first show was May of 2023. And then we did about 30 shows between May and then December 31st of last year.
Plus recorded the album.
Plus recorded the album, too. Mm-hmm. So, you know, those 40, 45 cover songs really helped us just get mentally in tune enough to where we can write songs together, and where if I show him a song, he can, you know, be like, okay, well, I have this idea or this, that, and the third, you know. And like we were talking earlier, it's really helpful, too, that he has a very strong percussive background, because he kind of, you know, accents a lot of that on his bass, you know, and just adds that extra layer, like we were saying.
Helps keep the time.
Yeah, helps keep the time. It's like a natural metronome that's not clicking in people's faces live. So it definitely helps, too, especially with some of the songs we play that can be either, you know, we can go from either playing really fast to really slow, and then, you know, stuff like that. It can help me keep on time and help him keep on time, so it cohedes very well together. We're Habanero Bobby, and this song is called Love I Told You. 1, 2, 3, 4. Love it shows, and it always seems to grow. From all the looks that passed on through, I've never seemed to know. Sometimes it's broken, and others it's the most. This love I told you now will never seem to go. All the thoughts that cross my mind, and the good things that you know. If I could get inside your head, I'd have the key to the world. Sometimes it's broken,
glasses and dreams will down and people forget about all the good times they've always had. Keep them going until you're dead. Sometimes it's broken and others it's the most. This love I've told you now will never seem to go. This love I've told you now will never seem to go. This love I've told you now will never seem to go. This love I've told you now will never seem to go. Thank you.
You guys sound good together.
And we've been talking about adding a third member and stuff, but it's just, it's got to be one of those things where, I wanted a good bass player to play with me for 2 years, but I'm not going to, rush into it. You got to wait for the right person to come
it'll
about.
come when it's supposed to.
And exactly, it's not something we're too stressed about right now because obviously, we have some sort of strength with
I think
two.
the first time we saw y'all was at Reed's.
Yeah, it was.
And y'all, I'm sure y'all hit all of the hot spots.
We're playing there this Saturday, by the way.
Yeah,
Really?
this Saturday.
Yeah, Saturday the 9th, March 9th. We're at the Study
I'm
at
gonna
Reed's.
be out. I'm gonna be out of town.
We have a lot of shows. We have one show each weekend this month, so check out the Instagram, Habanero Bobby, for the show schedule.
Cool.
Mm-hmm. You guys been playing it? Every time I go over there, y'all playing somewhere. So.
Yeah, we're playing, if it's March 7th right now, we're doing the Study at Reed's. We're doing the new Shroglow place right there on Gloucester and Albany Street.
Yeah, I've seen that. It's place
really, really cool.
In print.
The sound is great in there.
Yeah?
They
Okay.
installed that. Shroglow, yep.
Shroglow.
It's like, like the Schroeder's Market.
Okay.
It's same people, but
same
Shroglow,
family.
And you got Carford's business is Soglow.
Soglow, yeah.
Soglow.
Mm-hmm.
Glow, of course, being short for Gloucester.
Gloucester,
the street,
yeah.
but
Shroglow.
But Shroglow sounds really good because they have they installed a big kind of acoustic suppressing wall in there.
Okay.
So the sound's not just
Y'all played
bouncing
there?
off
I haven't been in there yet.
every this, that, and the other. So we're playing, the Study at Reed's, we're doing Shroglow, we're doing Ember on St. Simon's, and then we're doing Mallory Street Bar, which is kind of our like,
home base.
home base, if you want to say it, So I know y'all have played there
I
a lot too.
I love
It's,
playing there. That's like my one of my
Lance Jr.'s awesome. Gray, Aaron, all those guys are great people. Big Lance, so shout out to all of them for always taking care of us. And
Aaron Rice.
Oh, yeah.
yeah, Aaron Rice. So he's a good dude. They're all good dudes. So they were kind of the ones who gave us some of our first opportunities and being able to have, consistent shows at places. So they've been a really big help in, keeping the fire going.
You guys got a lot of support over there. People are always talking about you guys.
Yeah, man.
We heard about y'all before we really knew you. I mean, I knew Vince, but I didn't even know who we were talking about when they were, man, Habanero about it. Just all the buzz on the street.
Well, it was funny the first time I ever met you because I
And I didn't even realize that was you when I heard the name.
Exactly. So, it's before all that, when I met you, when I was in the band, Pond Dwellers.
Pond Dwellers. I was like, who are these guys?
Yeah, we played a show at, and it's like a 2-piece kind of like thrash, doom, dance, punk, metal kind of deal. It's kind of wild. And it's me and a guy named Cameron Driver who's out of Savannah. He's a fantastic drummer. He has some solo stuff, Nosebleed, plays in a band called Small Talk. You should definitely check all them out. They're fantastic. But we played a show and a ton of people came to the show and they were all kind of like, what the hell is going on? And then at set break, we walked out and talked to them and they're like, you're not Pine Box Dwellers. And we're like, yeah, we're not Pine Box Dwellers. And they're like, we came to see Pine Box Dwellers. And we're like, well, I don't know what to tell you. We're the pond dwellers. And there was that huge miscommunication, you know. We saw it on, you know, I'm with the band and all that stuff. And then I remember seeing you and Murphy's one night when I was hanging out. And I'm like, dude, I got to introduce myself to this guy. And I was like, hey, man, my name's Wesley. I play in Pond Dwellers. And he's like, you're the one. I'm like, I know. It was just it was a funny kind of interaction, you know.
You're the one causing all this confusion.
I tell you,
You're the good old boys.
Exactly.
Yeah. We're the good old boys. Well, who the hell just played?
But it was a very comical confusion.
The whole reason we ended up Pine Box Dwellers is we had to, everything we'd think of, we'd Google, and there'd be 7 bands called that. And I was like, we'll fix this. And then Pond Dwellers, I was like, God.
Which we thought, I mean, y'all been around since what year?
2013.
2013, I think.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's when we formed Pond Dwellers in like 2014-ish. And at that point, I didn't even know who you were at that point.
Yeah,
you know? So it was just a very funny coincidental.
You were still in high school.
Oh yeah, I was a freshman when we formed that band.
I saw there was something about the Kitchen Dwellers. Is that somebody around here, or is that something?
No, that's a pretty big bluegrass band. Yeah,
Okay,
they're kind of like on the Green Sky level, all that kind of stuff.
Okay.
They're really good though. That's another good band to check out if you like, you know, bluegrass, country, all that stuff.
I think I have heard it. I just need to go back and listen to it some more.
Mm-hmm.
They're kind of on that, you know, psychedelic bluegrass range-ish. So.
Cool.
Well, folks, y'all be on the lookout for these guys. Now, Habanero Bobby. And I'm sure y'all are on Instagram.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we're on Instagram. That's really the main kind of deal that we reach people with right now with shows, song, single, album news, all that jazz. I'd like to get a website, all that stuff going yet, but
and where are we listening to this album tonight? Amazon? Amazon Music.
So, yeah. Inherit the Bird, Habanero Bobby. You can find it on streaming.
Yeah, it's on Tidal, it's on Spotify, it's on iTunes, it's on Amazon, it's on YouTube, it's on 243 other streaming services.
CDs. Wait a minute. Did you have CDs printed?
No, sir. We're just doing 12 inches.
Okay. So how did you get it on all of those things without going through a manufacturer?
I went through DistroKid.
DistroKid.
Yeah, so
you can do that without having them. Yeah, you just need files. Without having a printed product.
Yeah, you just upload the album, you upload the files.
DistroKid separate from the print. That's right.
Okay. In which the single version I went through CD Baby, but they'll take out like a 10% royalty or something like that. Mm-hmm. So, you know, the amount of work we put into the album, I'm like, you know, if there's any pennies coming from this thing, they're going to fall in me and Vince's pocket. So,
yeah,
kind of went through that.
Yeah.
And
yeah, we had some albums on CD Baby, or we still do. And the last one we did, DistroKid, I think I like that better.
It's great. I mean, you pay a super small, you know, fee, and it's really easy to, you know, navigate, and you get to set your own release date, all that cool stuff. So,
but if you ever stop, that's the thing with DistroKid. If you ever stop paying the yearly thing, then your stuff comes down.
Oh, do they really?
And then you lose your streams and whatever.
I think they got one thing there as a lifetime.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. It's not bad if you want to pay that extra money right at the beginning.
Yeah.
And you didn't know more.
But but CD Baby, every upload is another charge, where this is like
that's why, you know, people recommend a DistroKid, because they're like, if you're a band that's gonna put album after album out, you might as well just go with that, you know. Which, I mean, we're, you know, already, well, I'm like 85% through writing the second record so far.
Cool.
So, you know, we're looking to have that out end of fall of this year.
Wow.
Cool.
So, and then a couple singles in the meantime.
Cool.
And that's going to be called Inherit the Bird Egg.
Exactly. That one's going to be called Raw as War.
Raw as War. As War. Raw as War. That's pretty raw.
That
kind of like one of the, what is it called? Like a race car.
Oh,
it's like race car this way, race car that way.
Yeah.
But
I guess not. Yeah.
It's set for as. Yeah.
Ross of War. Yeah, that'll be the sophomore album. So
Raw War would work.
And we're probably going to release it kind of like how you were, or record it the way you were saying you did, because I have the studio in the top part of my house that's small. It's nothing like Levi has, or the very nice equipment he has, but he's very good at just taking files that you've recorded yourself and doing his thing to them, and regardless, making it sound great. So I think we're going to kind of chill back rather than going in, writing it and then going in and recording it in 2 days. Kind of just record it as it feels right, and then shoot all the files to him, maybe a month and a half, 2 months before we release the record.
A lot less pressure that way.
Exactly, and, very lax. So we're going to try and go about that route. And this, this album's a little more like, somber stuff like that. So the next album's going to be a little more, upbeat stuff, which I'm not saying there's not upbeat songs on this album, but it'll be mainly, just,
right.
Pedal to the floor kind of, psych country bluegrass songs.
Cool.
Well, we'd like coming up on the podcast, we're gonna have y'all play for us live.
Yeah.
All right.
Cool. In the meantime, I'm gonna read you a little story now from Tale of the Week. Here it go. This is kind of like stories that I wrote based on my memories of the past, musical and non-musical. This is a musical memory. After doing a bang-up, wait a minute, Dollar Tree.
Got to get your eyes on.
Dollar Tree, $1.25. After doing a bang-up job for Herbert Gilstrap, manager of the Man o' War in Augusta, Down Home with Eddie Middleton were booked to play the grand opening of a new Man o' War club in Chattanooga, Tennessee during the winter months of 1977. There's Eddie right there on the screen. That was our front man, lead singer. He was a big man, both in physical and just overall. He had a big personality.
Did y'all date?
He had a huge personality. The supper club, formerly called Pajamas, had a giant foyer that led to a wide ramp descending down into the middle of the room. Upon our arrival for the big grand opening, we strolled down that ramp in awe of the crowd, thinking, shoot, daddy, this is going to be a fun 2 weeks. That crowd was full of businessmen, locals, lots of women, all decked out in the disco fashion of the day, hovering around a long table spread wide with roast beef, au jus, French bread, and just about anything else you could imagine outside of potted meat and animal crackers. Man o' War waitresses were scurrying to and fro with trays full of grand opening specials as we headed backstage to the dressing room to tune up for the first set of the evening. We took the stage, and that's me and Joe Shear, our lead guitar player. We took the stage, and we're doing our best to do our best. There's Joe. As we watched the food disappear and the crowd disappear. As the days of our Chattanooga engagement wore down, there was our keyboard player. That was a C3, Hammond C3. That contributed to my hernia in 1976. And he had seems like he might have had a Wurlitzer keyboard on top of that, and an Elka string machine. You probably never heard these brand names. This is from 77, Elka. As the days of our engagement wore down, so too did our hopes that we would at some point regain that grand opening crowd of hungry folks from day one. It was not to be. That was Wayne Scarborough on bass, and that's John Smith on drums. But the show went on. One night, the bartenders and waitresses, basically just them and us, started sending us shots of flaming jelly beans. consisting of 1 ounce 151 proof rum, 1 ounce blackberry brandy, and 1 ounce ouzo anise liqueur.
Oh my God.
What are y'all doing?
That set them on fire. That was the night we stripped down to our underwear for the final few songs. Long before the Red Hot Chili Peppers made their fashion statement. We made the best of it, and every afternoon found us down at the Man of War rehearsing and learning new material, like I Don't Love You Anymore, a disco funk song written by the indefatigable Philadelphia songwriting team of Kenny Gamble and Leon Huff. I don't love you anymore. That was old Teddy Pendergrass song. One afternoon during rehearsal, we noticed some goings-on up in the front foyer. It was daytime, so all you could see was sunlight coming through the front windows and silhouettes of people up there in the foyer. So we put our instruments down and went to check it out. There, an ensemble of black musicians told us, "We're professionals ourselves. Y'all harmonies be real close for white boys." I'm serious. That's exact quotes that came out of their mouth. And it was moments like that that kept us going. Another surprise lay ahead when the weekend arrived, bringing with it several dear friends and acquaintances from Waycross. James Bubba Bickerstaff, who is a musician himself nowadays, he resides in northern Alabama. Kind of close to Muscle Shoals, I expect. And he's been voted several times, won some Florida Folk Festival awards down there. I'm thinking about he's going to be at Grand Parsons this year, too, if I can work him in. But him and Miriam Pigler and Holly Young from Waycross brought their friendly, familiar faces to the Man of War for a much-needed spiritual lift. Down Home Band did very little sightseeing while in Chattanooga, opting to spend most of the cold, wintry days piled up in the motel rooms. We just weren't all that inclined to ride on the inclined railway, but we did manage to stop into a local video sex store and thumb through a few titles like Between a Rock and a Hard Place and Every Good Dog Has His Day. Despite a few escapades along the way, we were all good and decent Waycross, Georgia boys, joined together by the bonds of music playing up and down the country. Most times it was in crowded bar rooms, clubs, and lounges full of smiling faces and dancing fools. Every now and then it might be in a gigantic supper club with an enthusiastic audience of 2 bartenders and 4 waitresses. Uh-oh, there went a pig flying.
Yeah. I got
might
plenty
be
of
yours.
them. I got plenty.
Well, we sure do appreciate y'all being on tonight, and
Thanks so much for having us.
Like I said, y'all look them up when you're out there on the road, Brunswick's Golden Isles, and check out their new offering here on Amazon Music.
Everywhere.
All streaming services.
All streaming services.
And they'll be getting some vinyl, so
Yeah.
hit them
Y'all
up.
like them and keep up with them. Guys, we appreciate y'all being here.
Thanks for having us, man. I had a great time. Thank you.
That was awesome.
And we urge y'all to subscribe to us and like us and send us some messages, somethinginthewaterpodcast@gmail.com. Tell us what you think. Other than that,
You can.
see you next time.
When the cold black water finds its way across through your veins, it just might seal your fate. It just might seal your fate. It just might seal your fate.